Ahoy, Minnetonka. I'm David Law, Superintendent of Minnetonka Schools. Thank you for joining us for this episode of our district podcast, Ahoy, Minnetonka. One of the many areas where our students and staff excel is in how they serve our communities and contribute to the greater good of society. Joining me today are two amazing students, Isa and Amelia, who have made volunteering in their community a huge priority in their lives. And our coordinator of Tonka Serves, who helps to connect students with volunteering and service learning opportunities, Sarah Johnson. Thank you to each of you for being here. We'd love to know more about you. Sarah, will you lead off?
I'm fortunate to be the Community Service Specialist for Minnetonka Public Schools, and I've been in this role for 4 years. And it's a wonderful initiative here, very unique to our district in the sense that we've prioritized a space for us to kind of work on fostering servitude among K through 12 students and their families. So I really have a wonderful role in terms of building resources and getting students connected to great volunteer experiences.
I didn't realize it was just 4 years. You just started a little bit before I
did.
It feels like those established programs like Celebration of Service have been around for decades.
They have. And our Celebration of Service actually started 14 years ago. So my predecessor was deeply involved in putting that program together and establishing a connection with AmeriCorps, who actually puts together the President's Volunteer Service Award.
You seem to have connections in the community too as part of your job. Is that an identified responsibility you have to make those community connections like through Rotary and other places?
Yes, it is. A part of my job and the mission of the office obviously is to build those partnerships with our nonprofit members of the community, and I love to go out and learn about nonprofit organizations and bring that information back to our students and our families. My background prior to being here was actually in nonprofit work my whole adult life. So I held roles in organizations that mostly were in development, but event planning, but it gave me kind of inroads into kind of learning more about nonprofits and having established connections to nonprofits around the area too.
So you work with high school kids in placement, but you also have really strong connections with their middle schools and elementary schools. Do you also help middle school students find placement, or is your primary focus high school students?
No, it's actually K through 12, and it's been a real focus in the last few years for us to build more opportunities and more direction for families and students in those age groups. So I'm tasked with really kind of putting together resources and connections for them as well. So I build those resources and then share them in multiple ways. On the Tonka Serves website, we have some great options for families and students, even in the middle school and elementary grade levels, just because they can click on links to current age-appropriate activities so they can be planful and kind of think about things. I also work directly with admin and principals in the schools, in the elementary and middle schools, and the PTOs and PTAs too. So providing them with ongoing information to post in their newsletters, to post in their social media accounts, and try to get as much word out to everyone about getting involved and the importance of getting involved at a younger age.
Well, we'll loop back to senior serves, but one of the things that has been a new learning for me is parents that are serving as an entire family and opportunities. So if you mentioned it for those people listening or watching, how could families find out about opportunities where a whole family can serve?
Yeah, again, I would direct them to the tonkaserves.org website, just because underneath each of those links, there are detailed pieces of information that kind of give a good sense of whether it might be a good opportunity for an individual or a family or a group. And one of the things that I really suggest for families as they're kind of processing how they start engaging in volunteer service is to sit down as a family, think about what's important to them, and think about ways, even in little ways, to build in a service project or have an opportunity to do something together. And on the website as well, we do have tabs on the side of the website that give topic areas. So, if your family is interested in animals, you might want to click on the animals tab, or wanting to kind of focus on homelessness or housing insecurity, you can hit a tab and kind of go to different nonprofit partners that might have more information about who they are, and then get the conversation rolling as a family.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm going to shift over to our students who are the the benefactors of your support and also people who've given a lot. Isa, how are you connected to Tonka Serves or Service Learning?
So I'm actually on the Tonka Serves Steering Committee Club here at Minnetonka High School, where you apply to be on this board of students where we work to help get the students involved in the service opportunities here at the high school, whether that's running the Greener Good Drive, where we recycle items and give them to other nonprofits, or organizing after-school volunteer opportunities where we make care kits for hospitals or for veterans in the community.
Now, there's a club for this. How many students are involved with this?
There's about 10 per grade that apply and get into the club, so you kind of work through that process to be involved in this amazing community.
And what staff member supports it? Is Sarah your advisor? Oh, how convenient.
Yes, Ms. Johnson is the advisor, and we have a few student leadership roles. So we have a president and we have subcommittee leaders. So I'm actually the subcommittee leader for the Greener Good Drive.
Awesome. Amelia, how about your connection to service?
I actually started volunteering when I was 3 years old at Ike and Hoop.
Wow.
I didn't really do much as a 3-year-old, obviously, but I would say having my parents, they most definitely installed how giving back to the community is very important. And so I just found little ways to get involved. A big one was through my church, actually. I found the mud drive and just going through that. And also I just found different opportunities through Schoology, also through online, and a big one was Camp Saratoga. It's a deaf and hard of hearing camp. I volunteer there every summer, and I found that through my sign language teacher.
Wow. Well, so Isa, you earned the Presidential Service Learning Award this year. Can you talk about what your activity was and what it was required to earn that award?
Yeah, so I actually did a couple of different things, but the main thing I did was crochet for charity. So I kind of made a lot of animals and hats, and I donated them all to the Mary Moon Foundation, where they kind of packaged those little animals and little different hats and blankets in these little get well packages and give them to the family and the kids in hospice. And here at the high school, I actually started Crochet for Charity Club. So we meet weekly, and I kind of also help students learn how to crochet if they don't know how to, or I just kind of support the students that already know how to, and they donate items to us, and I pass them along to the Mary Moon Foundation.
That is really cool. Amelia, you're no stranger to that award. It seems like you've won it every year since you've been in school. How does that happen? How does a student earn it 13 years in a row?
I am very, very competitive, and I am the youngest, and I remember watching my brother get it, and I was right before I was going into kindergarten. I looked my mom dead in the eyes and I said, I'm getting that award. I don't care what I have to do, I'm getting it, because I don't think it's fair that all my siblings can get it and I can't. So I think it was that competitive nature in me, but also as soon as I started doing it, I loved giving back to the community, and it's so easy to find ways to get involved. And you also build a community around it with people that love to get involved, and it's just a lot of fun.
So you mentioned earlier that you've been doing this with a summer camp for people with hearing challenges. Is that where you've done the bulk of your service? Are there some other things that have been anchors for your service opportunities?
For sure. So over the last 4 years, I'd say that one is a very big one, just because I do it every summer, and it's a week-long process. But before, I did a lot of Ike and Hoop, which is every Sunday we play basketball with kids who have disabilities. And that was really fun, because it's very exciting to see kids light up because they get to play basketball. I'm also part of Interact Club. I'm the treasurer of that. So every summer we sell soda pops during the concerts. We also every other Thursday get together, have meetings, and then we also pack food. And ASL Club, I'm also part of, co-president of that, and we meet every other Tuesday. And our main goal with that is to break down the communication barriers that deaf and hard of hearing people face.
So I'm going to just go back to Interact for community members. I'm familiar with it, but talk to me a little bit about what Interact is and how it benefits our community.
Yeah, for sure. So I was very blessed to get introduced through Interact through one of my close friends, Reagan. She's the president. And Interact Club is an anonymous, it's one of the parts of it is anonymous. You fill out a form, and you can just say basic necessities you need for like food. We have toiletries, stuff like that, and we pack it. It's completely anonymous. No one knows about it. And then also it's just a great way to get involved. Every other Thursday, as I said, we do little things like pack food for the homeless, or we make little goodie bags, just little things. And then just randomly, we have like food drives, fall cleanup. We're actually gonna this weekend ring the bells. That's really fun, and so it's just a great way to get involved with the community.
Thank you. Now, you've talked a little bit about celebration of service, but all of these students and their families are recognized annually. You know, Amelia's drive to be on stage getting an award happened at Celebration of Service. What is a celebration of service? What leads up to it? Who gets recognized?
Yeah, the Celebration of Service is actually our annual award ceremony, and it gives us the opportunity to recognize our President's Volunteer Service Award winners, both our students and adults and families, but also gives us a chance to recognize our varsity letter winners at the high school. We do offer a varsity letter and community service.
And who keeps track of that? How do you?
Well, I facilitate those programs, and again, the President's Volunteer Service Award is a national program that's connected to AmeriCorps. So as a certifying agent, each year we offer our students the ability, and adults, the ability to apply. Students ages 5 through adulthood can apply, and we have them log their hours between September 1st and August 31st each year, and then fill out an application that's on the tonkaserves.org website. It's completely virtual, paperless, and you submit a log, give some information about the kinds of service that you've done throughout the year, and then we certify that and bring that to the AmeriCorps organization, and then are able to acknowledge everyone at that event. We had over 300 recipients this year, which is fantastic, and they completed over 43,000 hours of work. So the requirements are based on age and the number of hours that you serve. So all of that information is on the tonkaserves.org website. I'm also fortunate to be able to help facilitate the varsity letter and community service too, and that's so unique to our school district in the sense that many schools don't offer that, and it just speaks to the commitment that our district has to service and how important it is that students build that into their schedule and acknowledge the kind of commitment that takes, because you two are super busy and you're working, you have jobs, you've got family commitments and school commitments, but they're still building it into their daily lives. So for the varsity letter winners, we're able to kind of look at their experience, look at some recommendations, and then they complete an interview or a special reflection project. Our applicants all have to have at least 150 hours, and we are able to recognize them just as we would in a varsity letter, as in athletics or in fine arts or in academics too. So it's a great testament to how we look at things here in the district, and also recognize the kind of gifts that.
I'm going to come back and talk to students about that, but there's one other group. There's a community award for service too, where we recognize community members or parents. Because it isn't just K-12 students who get recognized.
No. I mean, in terms of the President's Volunteer Service Award, we do have groups of adults and families that get recognized too. And I think that's really an important point to bring up, because, collectively you may not, families really want to look at doing something together, and as Amelia talked about, having that be a part of your day-to-day experience or year-to-year experience as a family can be really, really transformative. So we do recognize those individuals too at the Celebration of Service through the President's Volunteer Service Award.
Very fun.
And families go together, they collectively serve together, and can be acknowledged that way, which is fabulous.
So from a student's perspective, neither of you seem like you do it to get a letter. But how does that all come together? Because you probably have won the letter award multiple times. How do students view that process? I mean, I like that we recognize it, but how does it feel to students?
It's relatively easy. I mean, me personally, I just kind of keep a log on my phone, and then when it comes to applying, I just kind of transfer in those numbers, and it's really easy to apply for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'd say that it was very easy for me to apply and my friends to apply. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, I personally don't find the interview hard because you get to talk to Miss Johnson, who's very welcoming, and so I think it was a very easy process to apply.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to wrap up without talking about Senior Serves, because that is such a unique Minnetonka thing. I love it. I get a chance to see our students. What's that all about? Where did that start from?
Well, our Senior Serves program is a unique volunteer project at the end of the school year. And it's a wonderful way that we give seniors the ability to go out into the community and give back.
High school seniors.
High school seniors,
Community
yes.
members seniors.
Yes, yes, indeed. High school seniors, the opportunity to go out and give back to the community that supported them over their tenure in Minnetonka Public Schools. So we organize a 2-day program where you all will be able to do that this year with 90 different opportunities for our seniors to go out and give back to the community. So we have an over 80% participation rate, which is extraordinary considering it's not required. And one of the highlights really of the school year, and I would say for seniors, it's one of their highlights too, going back and giving back, whether it be in a school or in a nonprofit setting.
What are the kinds of projects that high school seniors get to do?
Oh, there's so many. With 90, it's, it could be working in schools, it could be packing food, it could be cleaning a senior's yard, doing a spring cleanup for somebody who's in the community around here. We have students and musicians going into senior centers and giving concerts, running bingo. We have a number of students who go out and help set up the parks here in Minnetonka and Excelsior for the spring. We have students who are going out into the fire stations and police stations and cleaning vehicles, learning about our civic servants and how they work behind the scenes. It's just a fabulous 2 days. And we get a lot of support from civic organizations around Minnetonka too for this specific program. So there are Rotary clubs in Minnetonka and in Excelsior, as well as the Glen Lake Optimist Club too. So they're so appreciative of our commitment, obviously as a district, giving back, but also making sure that our students can kind of give a final thank you to the community before they set off on the next leg of their journey.
So students, where do you see this service experience impacting your life 10 years from now? How will you be different because of these opportunities?
I think, service has always been a big part of my life, so I think just taking that and spreading it to the people that are going to be involved in the next chapter of my life, and just spreading the warmth and kindness of service to the community to better the world.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I'd also say that it's so easy for people to get involved, and I think that in 10 years I see myself trying to push everyone around me to get involved, because I tend to notice the people that do get involved and help others are the people you want to be around. And so I want to see myself around those kind of people, so that's where I see myself.
Awesome. Well, we're just at the end of the podcast. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up? Anything we missed?
I would just say I'm just delighted that you two are here, and just the student perspective is so valuable, but I really would encourage everybody to get involved. It can just be a little bit of time, but once you start, I think the benefits are very clear, and it's been supported, and there's research that supports that students and families who do volunteer and serve are happier, healthier, and feel better connected to the community. And I think that's been a major part of your experiences. So I'd encourage anybody to reach out to my office or to me. I'm happy to meet with families. I do that often and talk with them on the phone or email them, giving them opportunities to talk about what they're interested in and give my feedback on what might be a good fit for them and the starting point for them. So I just encourage everybody to think about it and think about building it into their schedules.
Okay, thank you all for being here. It's been great to showcase these incredible opportunities for kids, and thank you for generating interest in kids year after year to do this, and you two representing as well as a theme at the high school, and you're doing it. Continue to do it. We are so proud of you. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Ahoy, Minnetonka, focused on service learning. The next time we will see you is in 2025, so Happy New Year, and we'll see you.